Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. I hope you're having a great week, and I'm so glad you've joined me this week. You are such an important part of this ministry. I appreciate you listening and allowing me to teach you in my limited way through the Psalms verse by verse. So this is Daily Dose Radio, fresh and organic. Today we're looking at verses 7 through 9 in Psalm 92. I said before, and last couple of days we've been talking about this pyramid that's created here, 15 steps up to a platform, which is verse 8. Today we're going to read 7 through 9. So we're right there in the middle. The last step up is verse 7. We're at the top at verse 8, and then we start down on the other side in verse 9. Let me read those to you. But when the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. Let's look at this as a filter or a lens. Everything that we've talked about, well, almost everything that we've talked about in verses 1 through 7 are going to pass through the filter of verse 8, because verse 8 is the central and essential truth of this psalm, and I think the psalmist is trying to express to us the central and essential truth of life, that the Lord Most High is forever. Let me give you my translation of that, because this text is so simple and it's so profound. The language just lays out for us very clearly who the Lord is. In my translation I have, and you are most high forever, O Lord. You see, against the backdrop of the fool, who in verse 6 doesn't understand because he doesn't believe in God to begin with, and now in verse 7, the wicked, who seem to be flourishing, they spring up as grass. Oh, and by the way, where did we see that before? Remember Psalm 91? Yeah, Psalm 91, we had this very language, the grass springing up. Well, the wicked are like the grass that spring up and seemingly flourish for a time. But what is their end? Destruction. They are to be destroyed forever. We see that is happening now, but we're going to pass through the filter of verse 8, which is the central truth that the Lord Most High, He is eternal. You are Most High forever, O Lord. So He is the top. He is the greatest thing. He is the truth. He is the way. He is the life, as Jesus so eloquently put it. And then verse 9. So we've passed through that filter of the great, magnificent nature of God and that eternal truth of who He is. We come to verse 9. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. Now, notice all the workers of iniquity in both places. And the language in the Hebrew is exactly that. All the workers of iniquity. So when you have the exact language paired like that in these lines of verse, it's this beautiful parallel and contrast that is set up. The workers of iniquity flourish in verse 7, but in verse 9, the workers of iniquity, all the workers of iniquity, are scattered. Have you ever cut your grass, let's say, with a mower that has one of those little side discharge chutes? I have an old mower, and it has one of those side discharge chutes, and when I cut my grass regularly, and it's not really tall so that the grass doesn't bunch up when it shoots out. But when I cut my grass regularly, I look down at that chute and I notice the blades of grass are going out the side of that chute. But when I get done cutting the grass and I look back, I don't see the cut grass, the little pieces that were cut off. All I see is this nicely mowed lawn with a level, even surface all the way across. You see, that's the idea. The workers of iniquity for the moment flourish, but when you pass through that filter of the truth of God, suddenly, where did they go? They've been cut and scattered. And that's the idea now. He's talked about the wicked and the foolish. Now we're going to talk about the worshiper in verses 10 through 12. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow as we look at the truth of the worshiper after having passed through the lens of verse 8 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.